All right, welcome to the Golf Podcast Live. I'm your host, Raphael, alongside Michael in Vancouver as usual. Today's a very special day. We had a few guests on, but today we have Mr. Rob Labritz from the PGA Champions Tour. Welcome, Rob.
Welcome back, Rob.
Gentle- Gentlemen, nice to hear your voices. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What's been happening down there? You getting ready for the event this week?
Yeah, we got the Chubb starting here in Naples, Florida this week. The weather looks really good. We've had a bunch of time off in the off season, which has been really good to spend some time with the family, but also to charge the battery to get back up to get ready to go, which is what we're getting ready to do here, which is awesome.
Awesome. What have you been doing in the off season to get the game sharp?
Yeah, working on the things that I didn't particularly do well in last year. I looked at my stats again. Needed to improve my wedge play and my play around the greens and my putting
Mm-hmm.
and my bunker play. So I did that. Basically, I took a couple days off and then just got back to work at the end of the season. So took some time off here and there with the family, which has been nice. But it's been a grind to kind of get back to where I should be with my wedges and short game.
I can't believe it's already year three, Rob. We've been following your progress and, you're really living the dream, right? Outside of the fact that obviously you would love to win, but just to be there and qualify and be in the top 36 and play all the way through the playoffs, it's incredible to see you play. And it's a lot of fun to watch you play and progress. You realize now how difficult it is, I'm sure, but you've always known that. You've been a great player most of your career. Tell us about your new relationship with Austin Watson, your new caddy.
Yeah. I've got a new guy this year, Austin Watson. He was on Nota Begay's bag last year. Just a good, solid guy, very positive. Just a good addition to the team. So, we had our first round today together out here in one of the pro-ams here that the Chubb runs on an off-site, Calusa Pines in Naples, and got to know each other a little bit more on the golf course and trying to find a nice rhythm and how we can kind of just help each other succeed and save shots and get our first win out here.
You had mentioned very clearly that you were looking at your stats and you weren't too happy about a few things. Tell us about what you've been working on and what stats you were actually trying to improve.
So yeah, I was trying to improve my short game. Internally, I just know my stats on my par fives weren't very good. I have the length. I'm one of the longest hitters on the tour, and then to not be able to convert on all par fives like I should, that was a big sort of glaring, sort of just a red light in my face. And then my bunker play got much better this year. I worked on it really, really hard. So I'm improving in all the areas, but I just needed the time and I needed the work to get it done to be able to improve. So, you're going to see an improved ball flight this year. We've been working on cutting the ball a lot and flighting the ball left to right, which I've predominantly been a drawer of the golf ball. So I'm looking forward to bringing out some new tools this year and seeing how it fares out in the golf course.
And speaking of tools, any changes in the bag or the ball, wedges? What are you carrying these days?
Yeah, no changes. I've been messing around a little bit with a long putter. Just kind of farting around with it. I don't know if I'm going to make a change or not. I'm going to go to some dark wedges, some
Nice.
Titleist Vokies that are a little darker, so I've been getting some glare on my Tour Chrome, and nothing wrong with, but we play different times of day, so I'll hit a certain shot and get blinded. But other than that, no. Really just working on the wedges, guys. I mean, it's just been a fun sort of 3 months to just really understand and see how the wedges work with the turf interaction. Just with trying to spin the ball and flight the ball and just make my wedge play more crisp. So that's been the most fun.
Amazing. It's one of the most satisfying parts of golf is solid wedge play and saving yourself when you need to when you're in trouble or scoring when you're in position.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you're up on a par 5 and 2, you need to get up and down, and if you miss a green, you make a mistake, you need to get up and down, or just get up. So,
Yeah.
but watching the guys out here, they all have fabulous short games. So It's something I needed to add to my game, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mike and I are big short game guys. If it was up to us, we'd carry 6 wedges in our bag. What are you carrying? We're usually carrying a 60, a 56, 4 degrees of separation between your wedges. We're really looking at your flange or the sole of the club. Are you more of a player who likes a wider flange or a tight one?
Yeah, so I like a little bit of bounce on my clubs. I go 58, 50, 54, 50, 47, which is actually 46 now. So, but yeah, I go a little bit more bounce. I like 10 to 11 degrees of bounce on all my wedges for what we play in. It's been really good. And if I play something really really firm, like over the Senior British, I'll switch. I have some wedges in my bag that are 8-6. So if you need to get the club in the ground a little bit more or sit a little bit flatter, you can do that. So, yeah, I find things that I like and then just kind of stick with them. When it comes to things in the bag. So it's been good. I did put new grips on my clubs today. So golf Friday.
Oh, awesome. It's like getting new tires.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Exactly.
What's your favorite club around the green? Like you're like a 58 guy. You like that loft and manipulate the face to accomplish a trajectory, or do you share the love with all the wedges?
Yeah, I share the love with all the wedges. Around Tiburon here in South Florida, a lot of Bermuda, a lot of grain. So the grain down here, you're playing the ball back, you're flighting the ball a lot lower, just so you make sure that you catch the ball first. Because if you play it forward or middle and you catch any portion of the ground first, the ball doesn't come out properly. So, mess around with those different lofts. And then, after this week, we fly sunny to Morocco. So it'll be more like North Carolina.
Right.
Instead of South Florida. So we'll see how it's playing over there. I haven't checked the weather, but, I might carry both sets of wedges with me over there too, just in case it gets a little firm.
Well, touching on that, Rob, that's really cool. So the Chubb Classic, then you got the Trophy Hassan 2, I think that's what it's called, over at Royal Golf, Dar S something. My memory serves me right. But you got the Colgar and the Hogue. How are you dealing with the travel schedule? Because unlike the PGA Tour, where they kind of keep it moving together in groups of tournaments from California to the Florida swing, you guys are all over the place. How are you coping with the schedule, and what does your schedule look like this year?
Yeah, I mean, they try to keep it sort of contained. It's hard when you have all these tours going on with TV and all that stuff. But yeah, the travel. My wife is awesome. She's like my travel agent too. She's a great wife and a great travel agent. She's been doing this now for like 3 years, so she's got it down to a science. But yeah, the travel for me is pretty easy. I don't like being away from my family so much, anymore. That's kind of a big heart tugger. But other than that, I'm still out here doing a job, and it's something I've waited to do for my whole life. So, but the travel, it's just part of it. You become pretty good at it. You learn how to cut corners, and you learn, you make sure you get the TSA and the clear and all that stuff, so you can travel on you can travel fluidly. But yeah, I like it. And now we're getting used to staying in certain places. 2 years I've tried some new places, stayed some same places, and made some contacts where maybe we can offer some houses here and there. Maybe stay on a hotel for a week. So yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun.
Is there any food that really, like, now that you're out there for 3 years, is there restaurants, or is there any certain food that tournaments might have that specifically gets you going? What do you got there? It's backwards.
Jay Alexander's.
Okay,
great
there we
steak
go.
place.
Yeah.
It's a great steak place. They feed us great out here. The meals out here. So I eat a lot of fresh fruit, a lot of good food, and then I'll go to my sponsors, restaurants, Jay Alexander's, to make sure I have a meal every once in a while because man, they have a good steak there.
Does the staff know you at these restaurants, and they come in? Here's Rob. Everyone, do a good job.
No, sometimes I'll throw a wig on to throw them off.
Yeah.
No, they don't. It's very incognito. It's awesome. So.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well, Rob, the U.S. Senior Open Championship this year is over at Newport Country Club. Is that a place that you've played before? And if not, So maybe getting out there a little earlier if you can, because that schedule out in June, going from the Dick's Sporting Goods, right, might be a little bit tough to get there early.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get out there sometime in April, May, just to kind of see. I know I have some weeks off coming up, but I'll get there at least once before the tournament itself. Pumped to go there. I mean, I played in Rhode Island. I've played in all that area, growing up in that area, growing up Connecticut, New York. So, I've won some tournaments up in that area. Very excited to have it back in the New England area where I'm very comfortable and familiar with. So. There's also some very good golfers from that area too that I got to beat too. So it's they're looking their chops the same way I am, but it should be a lot of fun up in Newport. Yeah.
Well, it's great to talk to you, Rob. Thanks for your time and effort, to actually make it with us to do this podcast. I mean, it's pretty exciting. This segment is brought to you by Lagmaster Sports. Dick is really helping us get this product out there. It's a teaching tool that he has, and it's wonderful at Lagmaster Sports, as well as another Florida man whose name is Mike Kelly from Castillo Roofing. He's out there helping us with being a partner, so we thank Mike for doing that. Look, Rob, any last words on your day? How is the weather out in where you are right now?
Yeah, sunny South Florida. It's beautiful. We've got a good week here. It's funny. We went through kind of a weird thing today where it was really, really warm this morning. Like 70, say 75 or 74. And then it dropped down to like 63 or 64. And now it's starting to warm up again. We had like a little cold front come through for a few hours, which was really weird. But the weather's been great. We're going to chase the good weather. And, the golf course is in great shape down here. Tiburon down here in Naples. It's in really great shape, and I know it's a public track too. So if you ever come here and you want to play it, it's well worth it. But just bring a lot of golf balls because it's pretty tight.
Yeah, sounds fun. We'll be there soon enough.
You do realize I'm turning 50 in April. And we're going to do some pre-qualifiers. Mike and I are avid golfers. We're going to try to get out there. If anything, we're going to create some content and have some fun and probably see you out over at the Shaw in Calgary.
Darn right. I look forward to seeing you guys. I hope you get in one of these events. We'll definitely play a practice round and have some fun. And
yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
It's a tall order, but we're going to try.
Hey, you know what? They told me it was a tall order to get on the tour too. So you just gotta think about it positively and work your tail off, and you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, great. Well, thanks again for joining us, Rob. Enjoy your evening. Go get a nice steak, and we'll be watching for you this week. Best of luck.
Thank you, gents. I always enjoy being on your show, and go over that number 88. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks so much. You have a great week. Mike, why don't you hold on? We're just going to do analysis here. Thanks a lot, Rob. Take care.
Okay, Rob. Have a good one.
Be good, guys. Take care. Bye. You too.
It's so nice to have Rob on again. This is a third or fourth time that he's been on the show. And just wanted to clear things up, Lagmaster ambassadors that we are right now. We're really thrilled to have Lagmaster on as a partner. They do a lot of different teaching tools, and they're fantastic. Mike, tell us a little bit about the product.
Well, first of all, we'll link the product in our description so you can check it out. There's a couple different products. One of them is a small tool that connects to your golf club and helps you coach the right position at the top of your backswing and at the end of your swing. What it ends up doing is teaching you lag in proper impact position. It is a great product as well. There is I believe it's the rock board. And I'm just going to pop it up right now. And
yeah, so that's all brought to us by Mike Dixon, who is a Golf Top 100 instructor. He's with Lagmaster Sports. He's up in north of DC, and you can really get in touch with them at lagmastersports.com.
Yeah, the Rock Shot, pardon me. I got a lot of information coming at me right now, but it's a pressure plate, and it's a really useful tool. You can actually use two of them, one on each foot. So it's a killer product. And we're very grateful for having Lagmaster on board with us, saying we will
Yeah.
be running a contest soon. More details will be coming out. Probably over the next 4 weeks or so, we'll kick this contest off the ground. We'll be giving away some of the merch, so stay tuned.
You know what's really cool, Mike? He's out at the Tiburon Golf Course. Rob Labritz, he's playing out there in Naples. And who else is in Naples? Castilla Roofing. Castilla Roofing's done a lot of the roofing in that neighborhood, and we just partnered with them. So a big shout out to Mike Kelly at Castilla Roofing. You could go to castillaroofing.us and learn about getting your roof done in Florida, specifically for golf communities and for golf courses.
They have a golf division, so you may think, well, why is a roofing company involved with golf? Because they have a golf division. They do a lot of pro shops or golf clubs, and every building needs a roof. And I'm trying to recall the name of the course that they did. Did they do the Tiburon?
I think they were talking about, yes, that's right. That's right. I think that's what they're saying.
So Mike Kelly is probably going to be out there watching the Champions Tour this weekend. I would put a bet on that.
Yeah, make sure you reach out to him. Again, the best way to reach out to them is through their website. The Chubb Classic is an incredible event. This is sort of the event that starts off the Champions Tour, and so many great players coming in and playing this event. You have Alker, you have guys like Allen and Ames and Andrade. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And I wish I had the opportunity to play that course, Mike. Did you ever get out to Naples to play?
I have not played in Naples. It's been a long time since I've been in Florida proper, so definitely want to get back there and go on our own swing through Florida, literally. Weather's good. Weather's hot, which is more than we can say for us in Canada right now. Luckily, in Vancouver, we're able to play golf through the winter seasons, but it is colder and a little wet. So yeah, Florida, we're fans.
Yeah, so the Chubb Classic runs from February, I guess 18th on. Then there's be like 3 days of tournament play. Obviously, all the top legends of the game are going to be playing, which is always incredible. I almost have more fun watching the Champions Tour sometimes, Mike, than I do watching a live event or a PGA Tour event, just because I've been watching these guys my whole life. So when I see, someone like Colin Montgomery or Stricker tee it up, it's pretty cool. And now you've got guys like Justin Leonard in there as well in the mix. It's pretty fascinating.
It's like watching a leaderboard, from 10 or 15 years ago on the PGA Tour. We're all so familiar with all these names. Furyk, there's so many great players out there, and they're in there's not that much pressure on them. They're more just enjoying the walk in the park, playing for a bit of money. The purses aren't as large, but they're just enjoying themselves. And yeah, there's still great competition, but it's a slightly more enjoyable event to watch. And really, the galleries are small, so attending one of these events, you actually get close to the players. You can hear them. You can even chat.
And they interact. Yeah, they interact with the crowd. But Mike, don't give the wrong impression. These guys are highly competitive still. They still want to win. You got guys like Alker who came on the scene, super competitive. I'm looking at guys like Robert Allenby, our very own Canadian Stephen Ames and Mike Weir playing out there. It's cool to see Billy Andrade. I'm just going through the list. Woody Austin, infamously bending putters over his head. And, when we went out to the President's Cup in 2007, the infamous Aquaman scene where he fell in the water.
Oh, yeah. I was right there when that happened. I was just standing on the other hole, but I saw that whole thing go down.
Yeah. Well, let me see what other players. Angel Cabrera is back, which is interesting to see. He's been, I think he was he in prison, or was he like under house arrest or something like that for?
I think he was in prison because that's what I thought was amazing. He came right out of jail and shot 66. That touched the club hardly, so unless it was one of those country club type prisons where he had a golf course,
right?
But I don't know. We'd like to learn a little bit more about that. Let's try to get him on the pod here, and we can.
Yeah, he's. My Angel Cabrera story is standing at the 310-yard mark on one of the holes at Royal Montreal during the President's Cup, and him hitting the scoreboard sign on the fly. The ball was still peaking in the air. It was still penetrating through the air. That's how powerful his shots were back then. So you think about the big hitters in the game. You think of John Daly back then, but Angel never got his due for how long he hit the ball. He always flew it over 300 yards.
Mm-hmm. He's a big hitter. I mean, he won the Masters.
Yeah. And then you got the new guys like KJ Choi and Stuart Sink, it almost feels unfair, when some of those guys come in at 50, hot off the PGA Tour, and they're doing okay on the PGA Tour, and then you got someone like Stuart Sink or Phil Mickelson who just pops in and starts winning events. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's that, like Matt mentioned earlier, some of these guys, they want to hang on to the PGA Tour because they have status and they feel that they want to, hang with the young crowd. But there's right now, the Champions Tour is way more competitive than it's ever been. There's so many fresh faces getting on it. They're not fresh, they're fresh to the Champions Tour, but, former PGA veterans who are coming out. Like the field is deep on the Champions Tour. So, and just wait. Another couple of years, we're going to see TW out there, and that's going to blow the roof off of it. So there's good things to come.
Yeah, I think everything would change at the Chubb Classic if Tiger Woods showed up at Tiburon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole dynamic of everything would change, especially for the crowds. What do you think about the new logo, Mike? What's your first thought? We talked about this briefly yesterday.
It looks like Ray Charles designed it.
Oh no.
That's my honest opinion. I think it's terrible. I thought it was a joke, to be honest, and that they were actually going to come out to market with something better. I'm not impressed.
I put my glasses on. This is what I did when I saw it, because I saw it on my phone, and I'm like, it must be a mistake or something, because it looks like one eyelash on top of another. I couldn't figure it out until the press conference happened yesterday, and they had the big tiger in the back, and then I really started paying attention. But no joke, I couldn't make out what the logo was. I couldn't tell that it was a tiger with the stripes when it's really tiny on his glove or on his shirt or on his lapel. It looked very strange. But when you see it expanded, it looks okay. And I've gone to the website. The website's very basic, and it gives you some access to what that's about. But I'm kind of disappointed. But I'm sure the material and the Sunday being two separate words, Sunday red, is pretty. It's a pretty good punchline or a motto. What do you think?
Well, obviously, it being Tiger's brand, it's going to get a ton of attention. People are going to buy it just because of that, and they're going to spend probably decent money, improving their wardrobe with it. I just find, I think they could have done better. I don't know if there's longevity to it. I just think it's a terrible logo. They could have done a lot better and have something that would help promote the brand. It's not getting great feedback online. If anyone wants to read the comments, I do have a creative marketing company and very familiar with logo design, so I'm not just speaking out of my ass. If we were doing that, I would have, highly encouraged a few more revisions. But having said that, Tiger might have had an eye, and he had his designers translate what he had in his mind. And that's the product. At the end of the day, the client usually has the final say in what something looks like. And if Tiger's your client, you're probably going to listen to him.
Mike, let's pivot a little bit and talk about our next segment, which is the WM Phoenix Open. And let's talk about our winner, Nick Taylor, our fellow Canadian. Let's get a logo up. See if we could get that logo up, Mike, for a Winners Awards Group, because they're our partner right now. And they certainly are a great organization out in Florida, making some really crazy awards. So this segment is brought to you by them. WM Phoenix Open, outstanding event altogether. Some crazy people and crazy stories like we talked to Matt Adams about on our previous episode. your thoughts on the craziness. Now, I'm just going to say very briefly, I am thrilled the way the event is going, how the game has grown, how many youth are out there. You're going to have a couple of idiots when you got that much alcohol available on Super Bowl weekend, and everybody's got a phone these days, so it's going to go out on social media. But that doesn't detract from the fact that it was a great event. Also, because our Canadian Nick Taylor put the hammer down and won in the playoff with the Seagull.
Well, for one, that was a great, last few holes. Nick was under pressure to catch Charlie Hoffman, and he did. They both birdied the playoff hole to force a second hole. And Nick basically birdied 18 three times in a row to win. So you couldn't ask for more of an exciting finish, regardless of the two names in the playoff. And obviously, we're big fans of Nick Taylor being a Canadian, so that was pretty damn exciting to watch. The tournament itself is huge. It's like it's the largest draw in golf, and sure, they get a lot of young people. Remember, like the Phoenix area, it's a big university town. So a lot of people flock out there to check this event, and a lot of non-golfers go to this event. So in many ways, it is helping to grow the game because a lot of people get exposed to a tournament of this magnitude and have a lot of fun at it. Yes, kids drink. 20-somethings drink a lot, and we saw some of that, translate into social media. I got to admit, I watched that little brawl a couple times, so there's a few different angles posted
Oh, right.
online, and I
Well, there
couldn't
was
help
the
but laugh.
brawl. There
I
was
couldn't
there was
help but
this.
laugh.
That's right. There was the brawl. There was the sand trap dive, and then there was the guy with his shirt off sliding down the hill, and then the yelling match afterwards while they slapped his stomach. Right. It
It
was
was
it was kind of funny and sad to watch at the same time. Being 50 years old now. Well, I'm almost 50. I'm still 49, Mike.
Yeah. Was that Tim
Yeah,
Aaron sliding down the hill?
yeah. I don't think so. I don't think so. But talking about clutch putts in this tournament, I got to emphasize the fact that Nick Taylor is now a man to watch on the radar. Everybody's talking about Nick and how he's a clutch putter. Going back to the Canadian Open last year, making that 72 footer, him making those putts to even make it into the playoff. And as you alluded to, then making all those putts going down the stretch and beating a guy who's played the event maybe 15 times, right? He's playing
I
the
think,
Seagull.
yeah, I think it's almost like 20, 21 times. He's like a staple there. So much so that WM sponsored him. They've been his main sponsor for
Yeah,
decades.
like he's worn the green glove, right? That green glove has kind of been the staple of his kind of look. At first I thought it was pretty strange when I saw that green glove. It's not the most appealing color,
Mhm.
but at
Oh,
the same time it gave him, along with the hair and the glove, it gave him a really distinct look.
oh, you can see him coming a mile away, and he usually has the green Titleist hat on,
Yeah.
which is a great hat, by the way. I just wish Titleist hats fit me properly. They seem to look funny on my head, but
Yeah, I
uh,
like your hat, Mike. Today we got the TGP hats. You could go in to our link. We got some merch available, right? And so you could always go there and take a look and get some TGP caps, some the Golf Podcast Live merchandise. We got some T-shirts and some bags, along with some jackets and hoodies. But certainly, let's round this off by just finishing and talking about the Champions Tour one last time. It was very special thank you for Rob Labritz coming on. I think he's going to have a great year. Everybody's so focused on the wins, Mike, that isn't it incredible that he made the top 36, played all the way through the playoffs. He's playing. He's living the dream.
he sure is. Such a positive guy. I think we could all learn a little bit about that. He's just grateful for every chance that he's got, and he works his butt off too. It's like don't
Mm.
think he hasn't put the time, the sweat on the range, and digging it out in the dirt. Trying to earn his way in there, and he's fitting right in. He hasn't won yet, but he's making money and he's earning status. So you can't go wrong with that. He's got a full status for this year. So kudos to Rob Labritz.
Absolutely. Look, guys, I think we're gonna wanted to finish off with that, but I can't help but want to talk about live golf and how it's grown and how people are kind of going back on what they said about the tournament and about the
Mhm.
people inside of the tournament. You know, I had a feeling it would come around full circle where people would start apologizing, start appreciating product. You know, to put down a product so much and not say it's golf. And only now, when all these players have finally moved, you got to ask yourself, why are they moving? Obviously, it's the money first and foremost, because we talked to Matt Adams earlier today about generational wealth and what that
Yeah.
does. But it is golf, and the production value is incredible. I watched a whole bunch of profiles on the players as well as them coming into the locker room and the clubhouse. David Faraday does such a great job with his whole crew. The quickness of the camera angles going from one shot to the next. The music becomes somewhat annoying sometimes, I find, on certain holes, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
It's, I don't faithfully watch live golf, but I do turn it on. But I'm like that on the PGA Tour. I don't watch every single event. So some
Right.
events carry more weight than others. And it's sometimes on the weekend I'd rather golf myself than be watching it. So I'll catch highlights. But the live has gotten better. I think it's extremely hilarious that Rory and a lot of these players are all walking back their comments. They were very critical about players going, and now that John Rahm's popped over, that's a pretty big move. So that they can't exactly chastise John Rahm for taking an offer like that. And look at Adrian Meronk, got snubbed for the Ryder Cup last year.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that's not a massive factor in him going over there, right? Because he
Well, he
should
did.
have
He
been on
did mention
that team.
that.
Yeah, he should have been on
Yeah,
that team.
Adrian Moronk did mention that during a press conference or an interview where he said that he now that he sees everything from the inside out and how it works. I mean, for crying out loud, he was the number one player on the DP World Tour last year. He won 3 times in one row. He won the Italian Open, the Australian Open, and the Irish Open. And not
Mhm.
only that, he won the Italian Open at the golf course they played the Ryder Cup on. And
Exactly.
they had a great team, but meritocracy,
Yeah.
where is it? You earn your spot, right? And all these picks, some of these picks, same with Keegan Bradley getting on and Justin Thomas not getting on the team. I thought Keegan should have been on the team,
Yeah.
and even Lucas
Lucas
Glover.
Glover, yeah,
I just
100%. He was the hottest he's ever been in his career, and they snubbed him. And I'm a big fan of JT. I think he's a great player, but he didn't have a solid year last year. He was,
mm,
and his performance, left more for desire. Last year at the Ryder Cup, so it would have been okay. I think it would have been better for Thomas to have sat off the team. It would have lit his fire to
yeah.
get back to proper form. So they got a lot to talk about before the next Ryder Cup because the European team is strong, and by the next Ryder Cup, I guarantee the live players will be eligible.
There's a lot of crazy things coming up this year, Mike. And don't get us wrong. Anybody watching or listening to us, although we're Canadian, we're big US fans. We're not only big Team USA fans, we're big PGA Tour fans. We've been watching this our whole lives, except we
Mhm.
just love golf. So we watch live as well. And President's Cup this year, as well as, Mike, the Olympics are going on this year in
Right.
Paris. So Nick Taylor is now jumped to 15th spot in the rankings as international players, which is really cool. OWGR has been kind of gone out the window with all the players leaving. I really like the clean, nice look of our friends over at is it TUGR? Is it Tugger? Is that
Yes,
what it is?
that's right. That's
I
right.
almost I thought I forgot. They have a really cool, neat look, and it includes all the tours around the world. It's based on a system where even Champions Tour players are on there, right? And
Yep.
it's TUGR, Tugger, kind of a weird.
TUGR.org is the website.
Mm, right.
You can
And I,
learn a lot more about their ranking systems there, and these guys may be onto something. Every tournament they post a recap using the OWGR versus their ranking system. And
mhm.
it's accurate and it's everybody.
And if
So
you click on a player, you get all kinds of dashboard statistics, graphs, and pie charts. It's very colorful, easy to understand. And I had a lot of fun watching and going through all those because it gives you a different perspective
mhm.
on everything, which is really cool. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you click, share. We have to say it, guys. Please give us feedback, give us some notes, talk to us. We're going to improve the stream every single time. We've got a new platform that we're using right now. We really want to thank our new partners, Castilla Roofing and Lagmaster Sports. And make sure you follow and subscribe. It just takes a second, and it helps us out so much.
It really does. So thank you for listening and the support over these years.
All right, from Michael Bleakley, I'm Raphael Calamat. You've been watching